There we are.
Hey, we are live. Thanks, Ali.
Yay, brilliant.
Awesome. Hello, and welcome to this Camp Kindling live hangout ahead of our 5th birthday spectacular. There are kind of over 3,200 people booked for this year, which is awesome. And in family terms, that's about 1,000 families roughly. So we thought it would be great to have a little hangout so that you can ask any questions about your experience this summer. Camp Kindling is quite a complex, difficult thing to get your head around if you haven't been before, which isn't a bad thing. It means there's loads and loads going on. But we do find that doing a few of these hangouts ahead of summer can really help people make the most of the experience, help people meet others from the community, get information from people that have been before, and obviously get to meet us, who are the founders. So my name's Lee and this is Jules.
Yes, I was going to say, nice to meet you. I'm Jules. Not nice to meet you. I know you already, but nice to meet everyone that's watching.
And the way this works is you have us for like half an hour or so, and you can ask as many questions as you want, and you can ask anything you want. All you have to do if you have a question is put it in the comments below. So whether you're watching on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or something, it will all make its way through to us. So you just pop your comments, questions in the comments, and we'll get to them all as we go through. Jules, have I missed anything?
Lovely. No, you haven't missed anything. Should we just do a very quick introduction for anyone that doesn't know what Camp Kindling is?
Yeah, great. Go for it.
Yes, so Camp Kindling is a summer camp for families, and it takes place on the 15th, the 16th, and the 17th until the 18th of August this year and every year. This is our 5th anniversary, as Lee mentioned earlier. And it is essentially a brilliant place packed full of adventures, activities, entertainments in the evening, parties, talks, inspiring things. And there's so much in it that it's quite difficult to like sum it up, which is why if you ask us some questions, you'll get to know a little bit more about what it is.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
Well, I was going to say, so for everyone that has booked, your experience starts on the Friday at midday. That's when you can arrive and start getting set up in the campsite. And then you really want to be there by Friday about 4:30 if you can, because that's when the initiations start. That's when you get to meet all the other campers, and we play lots of games to get everybody to know each other, to get your kids making friends with other kids. And get you meeting some other families for the weekend. Then there's a big parade, I think, that kicks the whole kind of show side of it off at about 5 p.m. 5 or 5:30, and then then it's kind of straight into Friday night. We've got like a big set of patrol games, which are kind of a very silly, competitive set of games. And then into the Friday evening for dancing the night away. Then probably like a slightly early night on the Friday night, because Saturday is when you're going to get up nice and early and start hitting your activities, which is obviously kind of such a big part of your experience. And then there's more games and parties on Saturday night, and then the whole thing again on Sunday, and then a big closing ceremony on the Sunday night. If you're wondering when you get to pick your activities, that you've got included in your tickets, that is a whole process that we call enrollment, and that will happen about 4 weeks before you are due to attend. And don't worry, we will send you lots of information and kind of reminders about when that's happening in due course. The activities and the entertainment lineup haven't been announced yet. It's all secret. We keep it secret until just before enrollment opens. But we have some incredible stuff that we've added and booked in for you this year. Special things for our 5th birthday. So that's going to be awesome. We can't wait to share that with you.
Exactly. Anyway, so I guess that kind of gets us on some of our questions. So we've got quite a few coming in. So do you mind if I start, Lee? I'm just going to crack on.
Yeah, go for it.
Brilliant. Okay, Jen says, I'm bringing my young family. What are the best kind of activities for the whole family to do together? And obviously we haven't announced them yet, as Lee said. But what are the best kind of activities?
I mean, the answer to that is going to be a horribly annoying. It depends. It depends on the different age group mix that you've got in your family, the like family size, and in the interests of each person in your family. So it's a very hard question to answer, but all of the activities are broken down into the different age groups. So you've got adults, youths, juniors and infants, and babies. And there's some activities that are suitable for the entire family to do together. And then there's some activities that are special for one or two of those groups. So we have junior only activities, which essentially are a bit of free childcare for you, included in your ticket. So you can drop off a junior there. If you're with some other family and maybe you've got a youth and you want to spend a bit more kind of special time, just you and your youth age group kid, and then there'll be kind of sessions that are more tailored to the youth. So it's a big it depends, but everybody will be catered for, and there's lots of options to fulfill all the needs of, you know, wanting to do everything as one big group and then niching down to do something that's more interesting and specialist for a particular age group. It's all there.
Brilliant. Lovely. Okay. So I guess you've already addressed the activities when they come on site, when they come into enrolment, because Melanie's asking, do we have to book the activities in advance, or can we play it a bit more free and decide on the day? So do you want to just drop-ins?
So we encourage everybody to book a lot of their activities in advance as part of enrolment. And the reason we encourage this is because it means when you've arrived on site, you've got your kind of whole weekend planned out. You don't have to spend time wandering around deciding what you might want to do. You don't have to worry about there being a queue when you turn up at an activity, because once you enroll in it, you've got your guaranteed space. And it means we can keep all of the group sizes nice and small, so give you a really kind of like intimate, high-end experience with each of those activities. Now, we understand that people kind of need to change plans because kids do that. So we also have a whole selection of what we call drop-in activities that you can drop in and out of around your kind of main activity program that you've pre-booked in advance. And those activities are things like the water slides, the airdrop, I think there was a zip wire last year, archery, and they don't use any activity credits, so they're all free. You might have to queue up for those because they're just on a drop-in basis, but they're there to plug all those little gaps if you've got like 5 minutes and you need some entertainment.
Yeah, you really won't be bored. And if you're anything like our family, it's obviously depending a bit on how quickly your child walks in between activities as well. But really, the way that Camp Kindling is booked is all so that it's easy for you and really relaxed for you, but also you can get loads of amazing things in. But like Lee said, it really depends like how kind of full you want your weekend to be. You can kind of take it easy, or you can make it really wild and really fast and really packed full of activities. Right. Wesley says, I find some festivals are a bit loud at night. I have difficulty sleeping. Do you have any quiet sleeping areas?
Yes. So we have a sort of a quiet section in camping, which is basically just like the furthest bit away of camping from everything. But because this is a families only festival, the whole campsite is very quiet. And all of we keep one bar open for adults that want to carry on until like the early hours, but all the big stages, all the loud music shuts down, I think at 10:30 p.m. Because everybody is there with kids, so everybody wants to get a good night's sleep so that they can have a fun morning the next morning.
Exactly. I guess we could say a little bit more about what happens at night, actually, as well, while we're talking about that.
Sorry?
A little bit more of the kind of like genres and things that happen at night, so people know.
Yeah, so nighttime entertainment. What have we got? There's the discotheque, which is kind of a big live music stage. Live bands and DJs.
And there's lots of range, things that your kids will like, things that you're like together. There's lots of sort of like nostalgic stuff from when you were younger, but it's all like programs so that you can enjoy it as a family.
Yes, yeah. Like kids, adults, all just having an awesome time together. Yeah, all very family friendly. Then we have the auditorium, which is a space for kind of theatre shows for younger ones earlier in the night, moving through some into some comedy for the older ones and adults later into the night. There's the night games, which is a whole games arena that runs into the night time. There's a board games club where there's loads of board games to play. What else is there at night?
Campfires, and then last year we introduced the woodshed, which is a really lovely chilled environment with kind of acoustic bands and readings and things like that.
Yeah, quizzes, ghost stories, everything. Oh, and then there's the clubhouse, which is kind of a more adult space with DJs late into the night.
And there's always some really clever parents that bring festival trolleys and have lots of really cozy children sleeping whilst they have their little ear defenders on and just have a bit of fun with their friends, as the adults as well. So yeah, it's good. It's really, you can really make it whatever you want it to be, really.
Yeah, if you're wondering what a festival trolley is, we actually wrote a whole guide on what a festival trolley is last year for some people that requested it. So you can go to our help center on our website, campkindling.co.uk/help, and just type in there trolley, and it will find the right article for you. There's a guide there on what they're useful for and how they're useful to have a great time at festivals with kids.
Melanie says, "Oh my God, amazing idea about the trolleys." That's good. Nice. Joe says, "Could you give us some more clues and hints as to what you have planned for the 5th birthday?"
Oh, we can't at the moment. It's all like super secret. So yeah, we can't yet, but we will share some plans soon. We want to keep lots of things as like little surprises through the weekend. So
exactly. Do we have to book the activities in advance? Yes, we've read that one already. Sorry. Okay. Paige says they're coming with their 2 boys, 7 and 3, plus my sister. Any tips on buying tents and gear?
So my first thing to say on that would be, if you only plan to use it once, it's probably going to be cheaper for you to either rent a pre-pitched tent from us that we can like put up for you, or even cheaper than that, there are some services online, I can't remember the names of exact ones, but where people kind of that own camping equipment do a peer-to-peer like lending out of things, so you could probably get something really good quality for like a decent price by finding sort of one of those peer-to-peer outdoor rental things online. I'm going to find the link for this and post it in the Facebook group. So think about renting if you're only going to use it once. If you are planning on buying it, then I'm definitely not the right person to give advice on the right tent, but there will be some people in the community that are. So what I would suggest is if you jump into our Facebook group, which I think is facebook.com/groups or /group /camp kindling, you jump in there and you ask a question. Some people will be able to help you out, and we can also ask some of the team here to have a look into things and send you some ideas. But yeah, we're big fans of like not buying things for single use.
It might also be worth mentioning as well that if you're the kind of people that don't want to camp, we do also have other options. We have boutique camping. We have pre-pitched, like Lee was saying. They're all pre-pitched. We're not expecting you to put your boutique tent up. And you can also bring live-in vehicles as well if you want to. And all of our campsites have really lovely warm showers and nice toilets. It's not like a kind of traditional music festival in the kind of amenities side of things. So if you're conscious about coming with kids, then yes, that's what the setup is.
Yeah, our approach to toilets and showers and everything is that what you would normally find at a festival, maybe in the glamping areas, we try and make that like our standard across the board.
Yes, right. Sarah says, we're a family of 3, 2 adults and a child. Can I give my child some of my credits, as I may not want to do as many activities as him and my husband?
No. So at the moment, we don't have a way to facilitate credit sharing. It's so when you are booking your tickets, if you're booking, say, the elementary tickets, which have 45 credits included with each, that's 45 for each person, and you can't move those 45 between you. You'll tend to find you use them fairly evenly anyway, because a lot of activities require like an adult and a junior to go on them together for like safety and insurance reasons. If you have some spare, because you're an adult and you're coming with like a youth, and your youth is kind of going off doing their own activities, because youths don't need to be accompanied all the time like younger children do, and you've got some spare, there will be loads of activities that you can use those on that will be really kind of appealing, hopefully, to you as an adult. Like, not all of the activities are designed just for children. That's a big difference. Like with Camp Kindling, is that a lot of our focus is on making sure everybody's having a good time, not just the kids. So there should be some really awesome things for you to do with your own credits if you're not using them already with your kids.
Lovely. And just popping back to boutique camping, a couple of people are just asking some things around that. Daisy said, I'm not going to lie, camping is not my thing at all. What is boutique camping like?
So boutique camping is kind of all right, let me start from just quickly from explaining all of the accommodation options, and we'll get to boutique camping. So boutique camping, so when you buy a ticket to Camp Kindling, that includes camping in the general campsite with your own camping equipment. So you don't have to pay anything extra if you've got your own camping kit. You get a space in the general campsite. If you don't have a tent, and you want us to provide one for you, we have a pre-pitched camping option, which is where we put up like a sort of normal hiking style camping tent for you in general camping, and we can provide air beds and things with that as well. And it's basically, that's just a service of us putting a tent up for you, providing it, so you don't have to worry about buying one or setting one up yourself. If you want like a whole step up in terms of comfort and a whole elevated experience, then we do have boutique camping as an option, where there's kind of higher end options like bell tents, wooden cabins, teepees, and those come with like set up with kind of proper beds with proper mattresses. Some of them have fridges and electricity and ensuite bathrooms. So if you're not into the whole camping thing, there are options that they're kind of still camping. They've still got the beauty of like being outdoors and sleeping under canvas and being part of the festival environment, but with kind of a lot more home comforts. So you can check out those. If you really aren't into any of that, then you are welcome to also find like a local Airbnb or hotel, and kind of go home each evening and come back during the days. But I would highly recommend staying on site, just because it's really like, that festival atmosphere and the evening times and being part of that for a whole weekend is really magical experience. So if you want to find out about any of those, by the way, just go to campkindling.co.uk/bookings, and all of the options are there with pricing and availability, and all of the things that are included with each of those.
Great. And Esiosaurus, we have never had any problems with mozzies or midges. I don't know about you, Lee, but I've never heard just anyone saying that was an issue in the tents. That's one of their questions.
Yeah, I've never really been bitten there at all in like 10 years of being there.
Great. Terry says, can you bring in food or drink / alcohol? And if so, how much?
Yeah, you can bring in as much food as you want and as much soft drink as you want. The only thing that we ask is that whatever you bring with you, you do either use it, you do consume it, or you take it home with you. We don't like having lots of food waste, and sometimes people do get carried away. So that's our only request there. And alcohol, there's a limit. I think you can bring like 8 cans per person. Check our website for that limit, but yeah, there's a limit on the alcohol, but soft drinks and food, go for it.
Lovely. Right, this is a fun one. I might take this if you want a little drink of water. Carla said, my friend came last year and mentioned that she was a badger. What is all this about? So Carla, I think what your friend is referring to, well, I pretty much know what your friend is referring to, is the patrols. So unless she had a completely different experience, the patrols are 4 animals: badger, squirrel, hawks, and foxes, and it's completely optional, but if you want to, you can join in one of those patrols when you arrive, or you can pick it at enrollment in advance. It's just a sort of fun, silly way to get involved and really be welcomed into the community. And you can kind of take it as far or as little as you want. You can get dressed up if you want to. We have Wildkind stores on site which sell a range of things if you want to kit yourself out as a badger, hawk, fox, or squirrel. You don't need to get involved at all if you don't want to, but if you do, then it's just a series of wonderful welcoming patrol leaders that bring you in, play games. They're hanging out with you and your family. You'll kind of see them around camp. It also means that you get to meet, yes, and like Lee has there, that's a patrol point there, a patrol point, and you can collect those and put them in the patrol point collection for the end of the day, when we will be doing every day at 6 p.m. Is patrol games, and you'll be collecting points with your patrol mates for your patrol. And then at the end of the weekend, on Sunday night, there's going to be a huge grand finale, and the winning patrol will win the Camp Kindling Cup. So it is really fun, and it's a really great way to meet people and sort of get involved, especially if you're coming, say you're a solo parent, or you're coming on your own with your child, and you sort of want to meet other families. Like, that's a really other nice way of doing that. So yes, it's all very silly and fun.
Yeah, it generates a great sense of camaraderie across the weekend.
Paige says, are we able to buy top-up credits when we're there? Also, could you just explain a bit more about how the credits works? How many credits, for example, was a water slide?
Yes. So I'll take those in turn. So are you able to buy top-up credits? Yes, you can buy top-up credits at any point. You can also upgrade your tickets at any point. So it might be cheaper if you're thinking you've got 45 credits on an elementary ticket and you want to upgrade and you want to add another 50 credits. It might be cheaper for you to just upgrade. So we'll always help you find the cheapest option to get the extra credits you need. And you can do that at any point. Any point. Any point. How do the credits work? So each ticket includes a number of credits. So 45 for elementary, 90 for standard, and unlimited for dynamo. And you use those credits to book into activities, and each activity will use a number of credits. And the number of credits it uses basically it just represents how expensive it is to put that activity on. So it's a way of us distributing fairly the activities amongst everybody that's attending. So activities will take somewhere between 5 credits and 40 credits. So a 40 credit activity might be something like quad bikes, and a 5 credit activity might be something like pennant flag making, and then somewhere in the middle for 20 credits might be something like what's the activity, headdress making, or fire lighting or shelter building, something like that. So there's a whole range, and they're all in 5 credit increments. We will announce all of the credits alongside the activities. If you want to get a good idea now, you can look at last year's activity list and the credits through campkindling.co.uk/help, and just search activity credits there. You'll be able to see a list of last year's. Now, that all sounds very complicated, but once you've booked and once enrollment opens, there's a login to our website, and there's lots of systems that work out all the things for you to help you manage that. You asked specifically how much credits the water slide is. So the water slide is actually a whole different type of activity that doesn't use any credits at all. So we call those drop-in activities. And there's maybe 5 or 10 drop-in activities around the site, which are there for you to just kind of fill the gaps in your activity, between your activities that you have used credits for. Now, if you're like worried about which ticket type is right to be on, the standard ticket type we find is like the perfect mix for most families. So you really kind of don't need to be worried about like a Dynamo ticket or anything like that. Dynamo ticket is if you know you want to go and you just want to be doing the like really high value activities, that can be a great option for you there. But lots of families prefer a little bit more of a chill time, in which case going for an elementary ticket with the lower credits, you're going to have a great time too. Our whole like ethos and our whole like approach to this is that we want everything, we want your whole weekend to be as amazing as possible and included in your ticket price. So whichever ticket type you buy and you choose to come on, you're going to have like a jam-packed weekend. You will never be bored for a moment. It's just basically how many of the like really high end expensive activities do you want to be doing, depicts your ticket choice.
Nice. Sarah says, and actually I can answer this with somebody else's, one of our veterans replies, but Sarah says, I'm really worried about what to eat. More so for my very picky son. What sort of food can we buy there? What are the prices like? And what's the cooking facilities like? Do we need to bring our own barbecues, etc.? So I will answer this with a couple of people who have answered on Instagram. Fifi says, the food at camp is lovely. It's not too expensive. It's London prices. So yeah, do you want to give a little bit more context about how food works at Camp Kindling?
Yeah, so first thing to say is you're absolutely welcome to bring as much of your own food and soft drinks as you want. There are lots of options for food and drink there. So drinks wise, there's kind of like, I think 6 or 7 bars and cafes across the site, with all alcoholic drinks, soft drinks, hot drinks. Then there's maybe, I think like 12 to 15 street food traders, serving kind of cuisines from across the world, and they between them cover all dietary requirements, so vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and things like that. They also offer, all of the street food traders, or sorry, not all of, the majority of the street food traders offer like a kids meal as part of our kids meal scheme, and they were £6 last year, I think, kids meals. I don't know this year. They'll be £6 or £6.50. That's up to the street food traders, but it will be around that amount once they've worked out their costs on ingredients and inflation and things like that. So yeah, you're looking around £6-7 probably for a kids meal, and then probably £12 to £15 for an adult meal, depending what kind of things you're going for. But you should be catered for, unless you've got like very specific or severe allergies. Most like large categories of dietary requirements and preferences will be covered. So if you've got a picky eater that just eats chicken nuggets and chips, you'll be fine.
Exactly. Eleanor says, I've been following your socials for a while and noticed that you have hot tubs. This sounds like bliss. How did I get access? So shall I take this one?
Yeah, go for it. So
Eleanor, I think what you're referring to is in our sanctuary, there are indeed wood-fired hot tubs. It's one of the things in there. We also have a barrel sauna and some ice baths and some wellness treatments. And it is an adults only area, as you might imagine. And it really is just a kind of respite from a hectic day or night with kids. And if you do have the opportunity to go there, we will be selling sanctuary. Well, we are. They're on sale now, actually.
No, not yet.
We will be selling sanctuary passes and wellness treatments very soon. And yes, basically you can go and kick back under the stars, and it really is very beautiful. With the wood-fired hot tubs kind of steaming up through the forest with the stars in the sky and the lovely big trees around you, so very relaxing.
Did you mention that it's an adults only space? So like it's
yes.
Getaway. Yeah. Cool.
Yes, don't worry. That would slightly ruin the mood, I think, having been in and around a hot tub with my son. I feel like that's not the vibe for really relaxing. So Fifi says, it's my daughter's birthday on the Friday at camp. There will be will there be an area for kids all celebrating birthdays over the weekend? If so, I'll bring cake.
You know what? We haven't had that question before. There could be. We can sort something out. You know, if you could DM us, just DM us and explain what you're thinking and what we can do to help. We'd love to help.
That's a brilliant idea. It's my nephew's birthday as well, so maybe we can all, have a giant. I mean, it's our 5th birthday too, so maybe we can all have a giant birthday party.
Yeah.
James is actually asking how the credits work. I know you've explained them, but they're saying, are they physical or digital because they're hoping to leave their phones at home?
Yeah, so the credits are digital, but you can make it work so that you can leave your phone at home. So they're digital. You get to sign into our website in advance. It happens about 4 weeks in advance that it opens, and you can plan your activity schedules, and then you can print those out and just bring your activity schedule with you. Then also, like if you needed to make any changes to your schedule once you were on site, we have 3 like information points where they have access to the whole like activity booking, activity enrollment system. So you could just chat with them and they'd be able to sort out any changes that you needed to make. So yeah, we very much encourage phone-free time. We love that.
Yes, we do. Melanie says, how long are the activities usually? I think what they mean is how many are there, or how long are they? How long are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're saying, is it for a day on average or something like that?
Yes, yeah, about 4 a day you're going to be doing. It depends on what you choose. So most activities tend to be either 20, 50 or 80 minutes long, with the majority kind of being 50 minutes. So you could fit in, if you like absolute maximum, if you were running between everything, you could fit in 5. You could probably fit in 8 50-minute activities in a day if you were really, really gunning it between them. But you won't want to do that. You'll be very tired. Most people, I'd say, do between 3 and 5 activities a day. 3 and 5 main activities. Then like we'll fill in some gaps with a couple of drop-in activities as well.
And also, I think we kind of mentioned earlier, I mean, that's activities during the day, but there is also lots of other things going on at night and in the evening and at dusk, and all the time, actually. So you will never be bored. Gemma Olivia says, what date does booking open for activities? I think you mean enrollment.
Yeah, we haven't actually set the exact date yet. It's about 4 weeks before, and I think it's on a Monday or Tuesday evening usually, but we will be publishing that. We've got a date to we will decide and publish that in the next few weeks so that everyone can put a note in their diaries.
Great. Sam says, I've taken the plunge and the family and I are coming this year. My daughter's 15 and I'm nervous that she's going to be too old for a lot of the activities. Please tell me some options so that I can ease her mind.
Sam, first thing is we developed like a whole youth program last year called the Firestarter program. So we had some feedback from youth before that they wanted to like have ways to get to know each other really well. So the first thing we have on the Friday evening is a Firestarter social, which is just for youths. So you can drop your daughter off there and she can get to know all the other kind of people in that age group across the weekend. Then there's loads of youth only activity sessions which she can book into to meet other youths and kind of hang out with other youths across the weekend. Those tend to be on activities like, I think we had a flying trapeze last year that was a youth session.
DJ mixing.
DJing, quad biking. There'll be a whole selection which are youth only. Also, there's loads of stuff that she can do with you. So like, you know, you and her doing aerial trapeze together or something like that might be really fun. So definitely there's loads of great stuff, and she's going to have a brilliant time, and it's a perfect place for that kind of like 15-year-old age group to start experiencing a festival atmosphere, but with you around and like a little bit of freedom, because they can go off during the day and do their own activities without you, but then being around in the evening.
I wish this had been around when I was 15. I'll tell you, I would have absolutely loved it. I got taken to folk camp instead.
Yeah, also Sam, because that Fire Stars program was the first time we ran it last year. So if your daughter has any specific requests or things or like things that she'd love to be doing, please drop us a DM, because we want as much feedback as possible from people in that age group. Make things happen if you have ideas.
Definitely. Maria says, when are the music/entertainment acts released for this year?
That will be about 6 weeks before the event. We announced the activity and entertainment lineup, and then about 4 weeks before the event, you can enroll, which is where you choose your activities.
Gemma says, so the retreat area, I think maybe you mean the sanctuary, isn't really suitable for solo parents then?
I think she means because you can't take because there's no kids. No, so you can. There's a couple of ways that you can do that. So during the daytime, we offer kids only activities. So you can put your juniors or infants into a kids only activity using their activity credits, which is essentially some free childcare.
Which we should say is supervised. It's not just kids only.
Yeah. Yeah, it's run by qualified registered childcare professionals. So you can drop them off, and we've actually really nicely lined those up so that they match up. So you've got 10 minutes either side of a sanctuary session. So you can have some free childcare and book yourself into the sanctuary. Or if you want to go to the sanctuary in the evenings, once the activities are finished, we do have childcare options like a nanny service, but there is an additional cost for that. So you'd have to pay a bit more. But if you want to do it in the evening, that's how you could access it that way.
Loads of people just chatting. Badges assemble, badges for the win. Lots of different chats.
I can see one here from Jack says, I want a really packed day. How many credits would you recommend? Ooh. Jack, I would suggest I'd suggest going for a standard ticket, which comes with the 90 credits. Waiting until we open enrollment, where you can see all the different credits and how the activities what each activity credit is and how the timings work, and then if you need more credits at that stage, you can either buy some extra credits to top up, or you can upgrade your tickets to Dynamo. But I would say 90 credits. Everyone has a slightly different definition of packed and how packed a packed day is. So difficult to answer, but I'd say start with 90, and see where that gets you.
Right. I think we've got time for a couple more. We are a little bit over, but there's a couple more coming in. So Insta by Bal, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, says, I'm a single dad coming alone with my 4-year-old son for our first holiday alone. That's so great. I'm just wondering if there's a way to meet other parents in a similar position.
What great question. Do you want to answer?
Yes, absolutely. I would say this is probably one of the best places to meet. I'm also a solo parent, so hi. But yes, this is one of the best places to meet other solo parents. There's a number of different ways you can do that, starting from today, if you'd like. We have a Solo Parents Facebook group, which you can either DM us and we'll send you the link, or you can just search for it. Is it Solo Camp Kindling Solo Parents, I think is the name of it.
Just go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Camp Kindling, and click on groups, and then there's a Solo Parents group, or just DM us on Facebook and we'll send you the link if that's easier.
And then when you're at camp itself, it's such a great place to meet other parents, because you're first of all, like I was saying earlier, you're joining patrols, you're meeting people on activities, doing the same activities again. Also, if you're camping in general camping, we will have a Solo Parents designated space that you can pitch your tent up around, so that you can sort of say hi to the same people over and over again. And really, it's not a very big place. It's a very expansive amount of beautiful sort of terrain, should I say, but actually in terms of people, you'll be seeing the same people again and again. So you will definitely have a chance to meet like-minded people. And I'm really excited for you. You're going to love it. And 4 is such a good age. It's like the beginning of the sweet spot, isn't it, for camp kindling?
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, even just doing activities, you know, when you're doing an activity and you're in a small group with like 15 people doing an activity, you'll get chatting to everyone, you get to know each other, and you'll see each other around camp. So yeah, great choice.
Right, I think we're nearing the end now. Oh, Melanie just says, oh, the nanny service sounds good for maybe an hour or 2 of peace. That sounds great. So I think, Lee, have you got anything to add? Have you got any extra things that we haven't just talked about, just in case there's anyone that's a little bit shy to talk? We've talked about accommodation, we've talked about food, we've talked about credits, we've talked about activities, we've talked about night, we've talked about day. We should probably talk about tickets, I guess, is really important, because we are running, well, we don't have very many left. So do you want to explain a little bit about that?
I think you've summed it up great. Yeah, there's not. I think like we're like 95% or something of tickets are sold, so they'll be sold out in a week or so. So make sure you get booking early if you want to join us this summer.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming to our Q&A. We're going to do some more of these, aren't we, Lee? And you can always at any time message us on our little chat down in the corner of the website, or you can send us an email, office@campkindling.co.uk, and we'll be really pleased to answer any questions you have. We've also got, like Lee said earlier,
I just want to answer this one question that I've just seen come in.
Go on.
It says, any tips how I can get my husband to loosen up and have fun? I think it's a bit embarrassed to be silly to begin with, but me and my son are crazy. I think it's I don't think like you're not going to really have to try at camp. It's such a silly place. Everybody just like after the first 2 hours of playing games and being everyone will just melt into it and become fun. So
I have a funny story about this if you've got 1 minute. My cousin came quite a few years ago with her daughter, and her husband said that he didn't want to come because it sounded silly. He stayed at home. And then they went home and they told him all about it. And the next year he was like, well, it sounded quite fun. So I thought I'd come. And I literally met him at the beginning of the week. I was like, how's your weekend going? And he was like, yeah, I can't talk. And he had like a Badger's hat on, and like he had like his face painted, and he was like pretty much like waving his Badger's tail around his head and like congering off. So actually I was like, well, you know, you've changed. So from not going at all to going. And then next year, first one to book tickets. So
yeah.
Yes, don't worry. I think your husband will probably loosen up naturally when he's there.
Yeah. Wonderful. And that's a wonderful note to end on. Thank you ever so much for joining us, and to everybody for booking so early. We really appreciate it. It makes a massive difference to have everyone's support. It's really incredible, and we can't wait to show you an incredible time this summer. So thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, see you soon. Bye.
Bye.